Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, we are now going to change the pace a little bit as we move on to our next forum titled Making Waves. Now, this session is a special collaboration, by the way, with the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, covering new age media and the art of storytelling, as well as the cross-section of business and the arts. Now, we also have a whole host, as I mentioned, of actors, producers, directors, and digital creators with us for this next segment. So it's going to be a very exciting couple of hours ahead. And Making Waves, which is the title of our forum, of course, is also in the lead up to the Waves Summit, by the way. That's going to be held from May the 1st to the 4th this year here at the Geo Convention Centre. Right, to kick things off, ladies and gentlemen, and to talk about India as a global content hub, please join me in welcoming actor, producer, and author Vani Tripathi Tikku. A very warm welcome.
Good evening. Thank you, Laura. First, a big round of applause for all the peers, our seniors, filmmakers, storytellers, directors, and lovely friends who've managed to come all the way to join us this evening. Thank you so much. 2004 marked as a transformative year for India. We actually ended up making 200,000 hours of original content. But this content wasn't just about films. It was about many, many, many types of storytelling. It was the streaming services, the OTT platforms. It was about radio. It was about journalism. It was also about podcasting. So with this new normal of content, this new normal of storytelling, what is it that we are looking at today? The content explosion is not just about volume. It's about India's dynamic creative spirit, which is driven by rapid technological advancements, and types of stories that we are able to tell. We are not just intrinsic to one language. It's not a monolith. Many, many, many languages today find global appeal, whether it's Odia, Bangla, Marathi, Tamil, Telugu, and even dialects spoken all across the country. At the heart of the evolution of the digital revolution is many, many, many realities: production, post-production, and reshaping the stories, how they are conceived and how they are told. Technology has made content creation more democratic, and we will be speaking about the democratization of content today in the session that I will host after giving this little address. And also we will speak about this amazing forum which will position India as a global powerhouse of media and entertainment, Waves. Amongst us, we have the CEO of Waves, Achal Malhotra, who will be there joining us a little later on the forum. We must also remember that OTT platforms have not just democratized content, they've also changed the way we consume stories. I know during the perilous time of COVID, what was in the palm became collective consumption, which is we were watching our Netflix and our Jio Hotstar very much on our smartphones till then. But when, during this perilous time, we got together as families, the way we consumed stories also became more democratic, it became more collaborative, and it became all-inclusive. We will be looking at that inclusion also a little later, as I speak with two trailblazers from the industry just after this. Also, accessibility has opened up a treasure trove of all kinds of content. Today, we do think about those who are impaired in their faculties of consumption of content. We do think about those who probably have visual impairment or who have disability about hearing. When was the last time you actually saw a film and you actually didn't just hear it? You also read it and you also saw it. You saw it within the very parameters of opening doors for this storytelling, which is diverse, which is inclusive, and it's collaborative. Advanced technology solutions like smart dubbing and subtitling have broken these language barriers, making it possible for global audiences to engage with content in their preferred language, not the universally preferred language. Inclusivity in storytelling has improved, with streaming platforms and cinemas incorporating features like audio descriptions, closed captions, Indian Sign Language, and accessibility to people with disabilities. On the production side, we are hit by this big new normal called AI, and AI will be one of the main focuses of waves which we will be seeing, which is going to be spearheaded by our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, very much here in this convention center, 1st to 4th of May. When you look at cinema today, you also see the prowess of not just AI, you also see the prowess of CGI and VFX. We got international recognition recently when we saw a film like Mufasa almost produced very much in one place and studios in Bangalore, showcasing India's capability for post-production and high-end post-production. On that note, I'm joined by somebody special, a friend who's sitting in Manila right now. Quite a few of you will recognize him, as he used to be the senior vice president at UTV many moons ago. He has broken domestic barriers, lives in Singapore now, is very much a producer par excellence, looks at India from the outside, and also talks about capabilities of India as a global superpower when it comes to content. Moy, are you there? Hello, Jyotirmay Saha, how are you doing today? And what are you doing in Manila, sitting so far away and yet being able to speak to us? Audio, tech team, Moy's audio.
That was me. Apologies. Good evening to everybody. Thank you for having me, Wani, at the India Global Forum. Well, I mean, we produce a lot of, as you are aware, we are one of the most prolific producers of content in all of Southeast Asia. We have extensive operations in Manila as well. So I'm here on work on that. Yeah, let's go ahead.
Said you've been here for many years, very much as the epitome of creating stories from India. And now you live in Singapore and you produce content which is globally renowned. How do you look at this breakthrough which has happened over the years as far as India as a content hub of the world is concerned?
Well, I mean, at the time at which I worked in India, which was, many, many years back, and it wasn't, I have to kind of admit that it wasn't really for a very long time because I had come to India from Singapore. But it was one of the richest experiences that I'd ever had in my life, right? So at that time, the Indian content industry was, the international content that we were making. India was still at its very, very nascent stages. In all the popular markets that we would travel, Western markets, people found it hard to believe that there are large companies creating content in India. Of course, 20 years later, 25 years later, it's very, very different. India is recognized not just as a huge global content creation hub, it's also recognized as a global content investment hub. So I think that's very exciting, and with the advent of, digital platforms, you just mentioned just a little while back that, language isn't a barrier anymore. And we feel that, Indian content is, if it's not already mainstream, it's going to be mainstream very soon everywhere in the world.
And whenever we meet in Singapore, we speak about solutions to challenges around us and also opportunities which challenges create. What is the biggest challenge that you think India faces today in terms of the explosion of content creation which is happening? And what are those small little, from the macro to micro solutions we could be looking at?
I think, especially in the what I would call the content export business, there aren't really any challenges. I think most of the challenges are cultural. And let me kind of explain what I mean by cultural. You see, when you're creating content, there's no such thing as a crossover content, right? There's content that you create where the stories that you tell are, if it touches you in some manner, then it spreads, right? So whenever you create content, you always choose a home market where you expect that content to perform best. Now, the only issue is, and that's not really an issue, that's actually a boon, that the Indian market itself is so large that Indian content producers haven't really had much need to think outside of India because the domestic market presents a fabulous opportunity already, right? If you look at countries like Korea, which are substantially smaller compared to India, the reason why some of their content has spread so well is because they have tried and they have made lots of efforts, and over the years have managed to create content, introduce cultural elements that work even outside of Korea. And therefore, it's pretty much content made for export. But India hasn't reached that stage where it needs to do that. And that's probably the only so-called challenge, but it's not really a challenge if you ask me. I think it's perhaps a strength.
Thank you so much, Moy, and gives us a lot of food for thought. Thank you so much for giving us time in the middle of a hectic schedule that you are, following, sitting in Philippines. And we hope to see you at Waves, in May, and hear more about all the collaborations you're working on, whether it's content for young people, which is your forte, the AVGC sector, which is a champion sector for India and the Indian government right now. Thank you so much for your time.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, Vani.
Thank you, Moy.